Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. And let me tell you right now, when it comes to boxing, let me tell you, these elite fighters, they are losing out on big money. But that's why you see these guys looking to go to Saudi Arabia. You see a guy like Tyson Fury refusing to move forward with someone like Usyk because they don't want to deal with these 60-40 purse splits or even a 70-30. Moreover, they don't even want to deal with an 80-20 purse split in their favor. Now, some people will sit there and say, well, why not? Well, I'm going to tell you. But first, like and subscribe to this video if you're still watching. I'm going to tell you why. You see, what's been happening over the last couple of years is there's been a market correction when it comes to, in regards to boxing, fight purses. Just like you see it in the stock market, you see it in the crypto world. When things get up too high, you see it in real estate. Things get too expensive, there'll be a market correction. But then when things get super low, you see a correction again, and things will start to pick up. What's happening right now in boxing is there's just a correction going on. But the problem is, fighters have been getting paid so much money over the last few years that now, you've seen that promoters, networks, have to come up with innovative ways to convince a fighter that they have the best interest in mind. In other words, let's take a look at what's going on over there at Showtime, PBC. Most of the PBC fighters, especially the big names, a Wilder, a Davis, Charlos, Spence, even Thurman, Andy Ruiz, what they're doing is they give them a guarantee of like 500,000 to like 1.5 million, right? That's their guarantee. But then they say, look, we'll give you 30, 40, 50, 60% of the pay-per-view sales. But when you see in some of these pay-per-view sales that they're making, like Deontay Wilder's case, made like 5.6 million, right? That's not a lot of money. And then you see the opposite extreme where you may see someone like Spence do 275K, and then, there's a bit more money on the table. You could probably quadruple that, right? But at the end of the day, it's just not the kind of money a fighter wants. Now, when we talk about the pay-per-view split, you got to understand the promoter gets 45% of the total pay-per-view sales as far as the revenue is concerned. From that 45%, that gets split between the promoter and the fighter. So if they agreed on a 50% split, then that means you just put that take that 45%, split it in half. Okay? And that's how it goes. So when you hear a pay-per-view event does, from a low number like 5.6 million or 25 million in pay-per-view sales, then that, when they say it's a 50% split, that's not of that total number. Okay? Take 45% of that number and then split that, the fighter and the promoter. And I'm going to tell y'all this right now. I saw some comments on a video I did a while back where people were saying, nah, the promoter doesn't take any of the pay-per-view sales. Now, to that I say, hold your horses. Don't take it to the stupid. Since when have we known for a promoter to not take any money from a pay-per-view sale, from whether it's sponsorship deals, etc.? Promoters are in the business to get paid. You can't tell me that a promoter is going to forego on a percentage of pay-per-view sales. Look, they're not going to promote a fight and put the money up unless they know they can make money. So no, that's not correct. Now, what I will tell you is, it's my understanding, there have been some instances where the entire live gate has gone to fighters. There's so much stuff that gets put on the internet, so don't rake me against the coals. I saw something about Terence Crawford getting 100% of the live gate and Gervonta Davis. That doesn't sound right to me. Maybe 60% of the live gate, that sounds about right. But I just can't see a promoter just giving a fighter the entire live gate, especially when you look at the kind of numbers that a guy like Spence, a guy like Crawford can do in his hometown, Gervonta Davis is doing no matter where he goes. It doesn't make sense. So, long story short, when it comes to fighters thinking about taking a guarantee of $500,000 to $1.5 million, and then 50% of pay-per-view sales, that final number a lot of times doesn't even get over 15 million. Sometimes it's a little bit more, but most often than not, the way things have been going lately, they're not even hitting the mark, man. They're not really getting close. Now, I know there's other modes of revenue that come into play for fighters, but what I'm getting at is, you look at what's happening now with Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. Everybody wants, it's not that they want a guarantee. They want flat fees now. And you look at what's going on in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is giving you a flat fee. All right? You can call it a guarantee if you want. That's not really what it is. It's a flat fee. All right? You come fight over here against this opponent. This is what we're going to give you. No more, no less. That's not a guarantee. That's a flat fee. You do a pay-per-view sale or something like that, my understanding is Saudi doesn't really get involved in that aspect, but there's not much information on how pay-per-view sales go. But what I do know is they're offering fighters flat fees. You look at Tyson Fury for Usyk. He doesn't want to deal with winner takes 60%, loser takes 40%. He doesn't want to talk about 70% or 80% split. He's like, give me a flat fee. Tyson Fury knows his worth. He knows what his value is, and he wants to get paid that. Even his dad, who's always in the media, is talking about it as well. You look at Floyd Mayweather. I'm telling you guys right now, Floyd Mayweather is retired. He's not Mr. TBE anymore, the active fighter who was out here check hooking everybody, lead right-handing everybody, making these boxers look crazy in the ring. But he, wherever he goes, he knows what his magic number is. It's a flat fee. Wherever he goes, he knows he's going to get that. You look at what Floyd Mayweather is doing now. He's about to travel to 9 different countries, put on 5 different events. I'm not sure if Floyd Mayweather really is getting that $500 million that they were saying, but he's going to make big time money. But going forward, in these times where you see market corrections, there's a recession, these guys aren't fighting that often, that really, to me, this right here is showing that we're in a transition period where fighters are now taking control of their own careers. Fighters are really looking at like, you know what, I should get my money first. You know, Mike Tyson he went on a rant while he was over there in Saudi Arabia about fighters. And why does someone else have to get the money first? They're the ones fighting. So I think we're in a transition period. And over this year and going into 2024, we're going to see where boxers are really going to be looking for a flat fee to fight. They're not going to care about no pay-per-view because you know what? Pay-per-view is more missed than hit. They're not going to care about you trying to sit here, man, and pay them on a curb like a video I did months back. What you're seeing, a fighter saying, you know what? Keep your guarantee, keep your pay-per-view sales. There's too many fire sticks, too much piracy, too many illegal streams. We don't want to roll the dice on anything dealing with pay-per-view. Just give me my flat fee. This is my number, $25 million. Well, if we roll the dice on pay-per-view, you can make 50. Cool. No problem. Don't want to do it? You can still have your put it on pay-per-view, no problem. This is what I want. Flat fee. Nothing more, nothing less. $25 million. And they're putting pressure. They are going to put pressure on promoters. And if these promoters stateside, if they don't want to work with them, you know, these fighters are going to have to figure out what to do, especially if they're in a contract with a promoter who doesn't want to go over to Saudi. Saudi recognizes an opportunity. They recognize there's a niche in the market for them to come in, offer flat fees, and put on the biggest fights. And the thing is, they can do all the promotion and everything through their government. So they don't need a Heyman and Eddie Hearn. They don't need a Showtime. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't need anything. They can do it all themselves, and it is what it is. So it's pretty amazing. But I don't think Saudi wants to cut the networks out totally. But I know the promoter, the manager, they're like, we just care about the fighter. We're here to talk to the fighter, not the manager or the promoter. And I think that's a step in the right direction. Again, I have the way I feel when it comes to Saudi Arabia and fighters getting caught up in that Saudi money. But I think they should make as much money as they possibly can. I just think they should educate themselves on, Saudi Arabia and be careful, because if there's a lot of money, let me tell you something. When it comes to the U.S. government, if they want to put pressure on Saudi Arabia, don't be surprised if all of a sudden they start putting sanctions on Saudi, especially if they feel that there's some kind of foul play taking place with Saudi and bringing a lot of American athletes, and the other countries have to figure out what they want to do. But in the United States, they may say, you know what, there's something not right here. We don't like it, and then they have to dig a little bit. They just can't come out here and do what they want. Well, actually they can, but there'll be consequences. But at some point, I could see them going in a direction of maybe putting sanctions, on a country like Saudi. I could see where they come now and put pressure on fighters about saying, hey, you can't go over there and fight. I don't think we're at that point yet, but what I'm telling you is that when I'm looking at this, when I'm looking out, and I'm like, what's the good and what are the pros and cons of this? The pros are, okay, they make a lot of money. The cons are there's so much money that it draws attention, and the government doesn't like that. The U.S. government doesn't like that, and they try to, prevent fighters from going over there. Okay? And that's just the reality of it. But at the end of the day, I think a flat fee, especially during this time, I think a flat fee is necessary. And fighters should pursue, in my opinion, a flat fee. Tyson Fury is kind of the trendsetter. He's right now letting people know, I know what my value is. Pay me, give me what I want, or no fight. So what that tells you as well is, okay, one, they want money, but two, they don't care about no damn belts. Now, who's the first person to come out and say belts don't matter? Okay, Floyd Mayweather, right? He said it. Belts don't matter. You can't feed people, can't feed your kids belts. Money. I'm not going to give sanctioning bodies millions of my dollars for what? You know what I'm saying? Basically, I'm paying for a title, and I don't think we should have to do that. And I'll tell you what though, if these fighters, because this is what the sanctioning bodies, they can say, okay, you don't want to fight for the title, we'll go to the next person, but they can't stop you from fighting. You just may not have a shot at the champion, but you can still fight. So what happens if all the boxers say, you know what, we don't care to fight for a title. We want to go over here and we want to fight quality opponents and get paid a flat fee, huge money out there in another country. We don't need to deal with you sanctioning bodies. We don't need that. I'm telling you right now, you could see that's why Mauricio Suleiman is over there. That's why you're going to see these other sanctioning bodies making sure they have a good relationship with Saudi Arabia, because they want to make sure that, okay, the Saudis want to put on big fights. But let's take a guy like Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz. There's no title on the line. There's no sanctioning body who's going to benefit from this. It's supposed to be an interim bout. Well, actually, they would. The WBC would, which sucks. But let's say there was no interim bout involved. There's just two great fighters. Let's say they would just take like who do we have? Let's say Deontay Wilder going up and fighting like a Dillian White in Saudi. That's a huge fight. But there'd be no belts on the line, no sanctioning bodies involved. But real money, sanctioning bodies wouldn't like that. And if that consistently happens, where they're like, hold on a second, we're not getting these guys to fight for interim titles, the damn Pearl Belt, the Intercontinental this, the regional this, all of that, all those crap belts they have out there. Well, then the sanctioning bodies dry up, and they're not going to let that happen. So again, this is just something that I'm paying attention to. There's definitely we're in, I think, the preliminary stages, but I think we're going to see this kind of blossom, and I think it's going to grow. And I think when it catches, it's going to catch like wildfire, and it's going to make headlines. Some people can disagree with me. That's fine. I like to look at things and ask the why. I like to peel the layers back. But from what I'm seeing, I truly feel boxers are looking for flat fees so they can fight and know that they're going to get a certain amount of money. They don't want these low guarantees and saying, hey, we're going to give you a percentage of pay-per-view sales. Because if you look at Deontay Wilder, when he returned against Helenius, I'm going to be honest, even I thought Wilder's going to come back with Helenius, and he's going to get huge support from boxing fans, and in particular, those who see him as their king or leader, right? Because that's what Deontay Wilder says, right? The man comes out, he has an event against Helenius, $74.99 is the price. Supposedly 75,000 sold. It's about $5.6 million total. 45% of that goes to the promoter. Whatever Deontay Wilder's split was for pay-per-view sales with the promoter, it gets split from that 45. So you figure that 40, as you figure, you're talking about a little bit less than 2.5 million split between Wilder and damn PBC. So $1 million. So Deontay Wilder got in the ring for whatever his guarantee was, and a little, maybe closer to 1 million, 1.5. Let's just say 2 million, right? Something like that. That's what he got in the ring for. I've seen all kind of reports saying that reportedly Deontay Wilder is going to make upwards of $20 million plus against Helenius with the pay-per-view sales and his guarantee. But I'm telling you, he didn't get anywhere close to that. So when you think about that, right? Like, that's an extreme case of a pay-per-view flop. But going forward, you see what Wilder's doing now. He liked the idea of flat fee because he knows you can get his money. He doesn't have to wait like he talked about, like Broner talked about over at PBC. Get their money up front, it's in their account. They come fight, do their business, hang out a few days out there, go out there and let that little eagle or hawk sit on their wrist, go out there in the desert, chase some tumbleweeds. Hopefully they don't get caught in no damn sandstorm, drink some yogurt milk, and bring their butts back to the United States. But that being said, if you like the video, like and subscribe. Please leave your comments below. But I'm just telling you, Bud Crawford may have been on to something. But the reason why I think he's on to something when he approached Spence about the flat $25 million apiece is because, I believe, I don't have no proof, I believe Crawford was going to be getting that money from Abdur Abdallah, or that money is coming from Saudi Arabia. I truly believe that. So you can leave your comments below. But that being said, y'all keep cool. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe, all right? Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. I'm in the breeze.